on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook.
The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The update presented by the Sportscast.
Welcome to the Sportscast, September 30th, 2024, the last day in September. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Apple Podcast. You can also listen to us on your smart speaker. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online radio. You can also visit our website, thesportscast.net, and also follow us on X at the Sportscast1. And check out our app, the Sportscast, in the iOS App Store. NFL Week 4 recap. We had a tremendous weekend, a lot of answers, a lot of questions being answered. And join us fresh from Florida, Dan Madden. Welcome back to the Sportscast. And we have no Dan right now. We'll get his audio straightened out a little bit, but a lot going on in the NFL. But first, want to have special tribute over to Dikembe Mutombo. He is a NBA Hall of Famer. He played for the Atlanta Hawks, and also he played for the Philadelphia 76ers, and also Denver Nuggets. He did not win no NBA championship, but he definitely was a star in the NBA, and he was only 58 years old. He died he died of brain cancer. So all right, rest in peace, prayers to his family and everything else. And we got Mr. Madden back. How was Florida?
I think it was good. Yeah. The hurricane didn't hit us. We had a little bad weather a day or two in Orlando, but got to go to Disney World with the kids, and they enjoyed it. First time to Disney and first time to the beach, so they had a real good time. So good to get away.
There's no beaches in Ohio, only a lake.
No, yeah, Lake Erie. That's really all they get to experience. So it was nice to go look for seashells, and they had a blast. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely, Florida has one of the best beaches in the country, maybe in the world. So definitely, if you ever have a chance, anyone out there in the audience, visit Daytona Beach. It's probably one of the tops. What a week for NFL Week 4, Dan. You told me you saw most of it, but what were your thoughts overall?
Yeah, no, it's just been a up and down year. I mean, just teams that are winning. Who would think we'd be sitting here in Washington is playing like they are, and the Vikings. I mean, they're 4-0, and we saw JJ McCarthy go down, and Darnold, the resurgence, and the problems in Philadelphia and Jacksonville are big highlights. I mean, 0-4 for Trevor Lawrence. So you got all that money, and now he's playing like this, which we see a lot. Look at Deshaun Watson, right? Still sour about that, but it's just been a wild year so far. Wild week.
And Joe Flacco having a good day yesterday.
Yes, yeah, in the basement again. I mean, he resurrected, and it's just you see the way Flacco's playing in Baker Mayfield right now, and it's like, why did we let these guys go in Cleveland? But Cleveland doing Cleveland things, and I'm on to the Guardians right now for their World Series hopes. Baseball is where my focus is going for Cleveland sports right now. So
they're definitely going to have a postseason run. They made the playoffs. They're not in the wild card, right? They're in the divisional round.
No, they actually won. Yeah. So
there you have it. No. That's a good positive story for out of Cleveland. But let's look at top headlines for this past week 4. Rashid Rice, Kansas City Chiefs star wide receiver one. Was carted out yesterday versus the Chargers. He's believed to have an ACL injury. There are down to only a few receivers. And your thoughts on this injury and this whole incident?
Yeah, no, he was finally getting some good chemistry with Mahomes, and this injury, it's not going to help things. But I mean, they won the Super Bowl last year with receivers from basically study hall. So Rice was just getting going, and so Mahomes will find a way. Kelsey finally had a good game. He was struggling there, but he had a good game. So Mahomes will find it, and they'll be able to maneuver without him.
Yeah, and they got Xavier Worthy. He got some more minutes. So, and you're right, Kelsey has to step it up. He's had a slow start. Taylor Swift did not show up to LA yesterday for some
Oh,
reason.
2 games in a row. What's going on? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Minnesota are up 4-0. They beat the Packers by 2 points. They had a great first half, by the way. Tremendous first half. But this Minnesota team is the real deal. I can safely say
Yeah.
that.
No, absolutely. I mean, they had the pieces in place, and it was just the quarterback. And who would think that Darnold would be playing like he's playing, and got another chance, and he's making the most of it. And he's going to get paid either there or somewhere else. I mean, JJ McCarthy might have to do the regular thing that you should do, as Brady talked about. Gradually bringing these rookies in the lead, learning. So maybe it's a better situation for McCarthy to sit a year or two. So.
Yeah, sit a year out. Obviously, Arnold got drafted in 2020, I believe. So he's still a young quarterback, but who knows what's going to happen? A situation where, hey, maybe he should stick around in Minnesota, or another team should pick him up.
Yeah.
So quite something else. Yesterday, as Dan mentioned briefly, the Jaguars are 0-4, but I want to check out this clip from head coach Doug Pederson.
Start worrying about your status at this point, or no?
My status?
Yeah. After an 0-4 start.
I mean, no. I mean, it's kind of a strange question, but okay.
Doug Pederson was asked by a reporter, "How's your job status?" He said, "What kind of question is that?" Dan, is he in the hot seat? Doug Pederson, coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, I think so, most definitely, and I'm sure he knows it. Or, he'd have a little better response than that. I mean, they had high hopes. I mean, I think their ownership has been on tape saying some of these things, like it's win now. And to start 0-4, you just pay your quarterback $270 million, and you don't do that to go 0-4. I mean, you're looking for a Super Bowl run, with something like that in place. And yeah, for sure.
And another thing is there's a situation with the play calling. He has his offensive coordinator doing the play calling. And apparently, I can't remember if the ownership, well, the reporter was asking if he should do the play calling, which was a situation in Philadelphia, Dan, if you don't remember, that he got let go because he didn't do the play calling and he had his assistant coaches do the calling. So this is kind of like deja vu for him again. Should he do the play calling?
Well, I mean, ultimately, he probably should. I mean, if he's looking to save his job, I mean, you can't, blame other people. Maybe he should, and that's just, if he takes it over and they turn it around, then yeah, maybe that saves his job. You know what I mean? I mean, the buck stops with him no matter what. So.
Yeah. The owner, Shad Khan, is a very laid back owner. He's not like the guy that pulls in, like pushes the red button quick. But the next 2 games are in London, and typically those London games are their home games. A lot of Jacksonville Jaguar fans in London, by the way. So we'll see if things turn around. Their last win was against the Texans, who they lost yesterday. So the irony is kind of into them. But anyways, another top headline I want to bring up: Commanders are 3-1. Their rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, superb once again, Dan.
Yeah, no, he's the real deal. I mean, I think there's question, maybe he should have been the one overall pick, playing a little better than Williams right now. But yeah, no, he's mature beyond his years, and, he's got Washington playing great football right now.
Commanders, the best team in the NFC East?
They're right there. I mean, who would be thinking about it? but they're definitely in the hunt.
They're definitely a hunt. Eagles are 2-2. Giants are 1-3. I would put them up there. So, anyways, let's go start recapping NFL Week 4, which is pretty excited in my Saints at Young Heat Cole, a popular field goal kicker for the NFL, kicked a 58-yard field goal with 2 seconds remaining, and the Atlanta Falcons, led by Kirk Cousins, rallied for a 26-24 victory over the Saints, who had a good start of the year as well, without scoring an offensive touchdown Sunday, Dan.
Yeah, no, this was a really good game. The kicking this year has been unbelievable. I mean, there's kickers kicking 60-yard. I mean, 50-yard field goals are, just a regular occurrence now, and it's just these kickers are breed a different today. But yeah, the turnovers late hurt the Saints, or turnovers in general. 2 turnovers, so that was a difference in this game for sure.
Big difference. And speaking about kicker, Justin Tucker missed a 60-yard field goal not too long ago, and Butker makes more money in merchandise than Travis Kelce. So there's value with kickers, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Sam Darnold. No, let's go to Chicago. Caleb Williams led 4 scoring drives. Rookie quarterback. DeAndre Swift had 165 yards, Dan, from scrimmage and a touchdown, and the Bears beat the Los Angeles Rams 24-18.
Yeah, no, this is Williams' best game so far. I mean, he was 17-23, 151 yards passing. So I think the running game helped them. They need to get that going, help out the rookie to be more successful, get the run game going.
The rookie threw for 157 yards and a touchdown after setting a Bears rookie record by passing 363 yards at Indianapolis the past week. I think Bears are on a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah, they are.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
That's pretty good for the Bears. I haven't seen this since Mr. Trubisky, but let's just not hold our breath yet. All right, let's go to Green Bay, Minnesota. Sam Darnold threw 3 touchdown passes, Dan. And Jordan Addison, who came back from injury, scored twice as Minnesota built an early 28-point lead and hung on down the stretch to beat the Packers 31-29.
Yeah, no, Darnold's playing lights out right now. Who would have thought coming into the year? But Jordan Love struggled a little bit in this game. I know he's a little banged up, but he's got to play better. He got that big contract after one big year. I think that was a little premature, but he definitely has to play better moving forward.
He threw for 389 yards and 4 touchdowns, both career highs. I do miss Malik Willis, but Jordan Love is getting paid, so I'll definitely choose him over Malik Willis at the moment. Steelers were exposed by who? The no other Joe Flacco, who threw for 2 touchdown passes in relief of the injured Anthony Richardson, and the Colts came up with a stop in the final minute to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-24. Dan, deja vu all over again.
Yeah, it is. It's. I wish he was still on the Browns team right now. Yeah, I wish they didn't get rid of him, because the guy can play. Just comes sitting off his couch and just goes right in, and it's like, he never left the league and does these things. And I'm happy for him that he got to get back out of it, because the dude can still play. He's almost 40 years old doing these things, and so I'm happy for him. And I'm happy they beat the Steelers, because we don't like the Steelers as Browns fans. So. And what are the Steelers going to do, though? Are they going to stick with the quarterback here, or are they going to go to Russell Wilson?
You read my mind.
Yeah,
when I saw that score line, I was like, I'm sure Russell Wilson's going to start next weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard.
Why not, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting stat. Anthony Richardson, the Colts quarterback, his mom is only 8 days older than Joe Flacco.
Wow. That sounds like a bad mom joke. Your mom is.
And Joe Flacco's 39 years old, so
yeah,
do the math. All right, let's go to New York, MetLife Stadium. Bo Nix, Dan's heard of him, threw his first NFL touchdown, and the Broncos overcame a miserable first half on offense and held on to beat a banged-up Aaron Rodgers and the sloppy New York Jets 10-9 in a defensive standoff on a rainy Sunday.
Yeah, this is a sleeper of a game for sure. I mean, the weather played a factor. It's more of a defensive game. Jets had a chance to win it and missed the field goal late. But sloppy game overall, both sides.
Rodgers came up limping a bit after a sack late in the fourth quarter and seemed to be favoring his left leg, the same on which his Achilles tendon was surgically repaired a year ago, and was looked at on the sideline by trainers. So we'll see what happens. Broncos 2-game winning streak, something to look at there, or nothing much? They're just playing easy teams.
Yeah, we'll see as their schedule gets harder. I mean, I think Nick's, he's going to definitely have to play a little better. Got his 4th touchdown, so hopefully that'll get him a little more confidence. But we'll see moving forward the next few weeks.
Eagles at the Buccaneers. Did you see that news story that Baker was talking about how Tom Brady, when he was at Tampa, he was stressed out the team in the locker room?
I did read that, and Brady kind of gave a nasty response to him. He's like, if I want to have fun, I'll take my kids to Disneyland. We're looking at winning Super Bowls here, so he kind of gave it back to him. But yeah, I did see that. But Baker played great this game. He's been playing great all year long. It gets me salty because again, the Browns had him and let him go. But the Eagles are the bigger story here. They're really struggling. Sirianni, I think, is on the hot seat. Their defense can't stop anybody right now. Isn't he a defensive-minded coach, I think, right?
Apparently.
Yes. So,
they couldn't stop Baker Mayfield's 347 yards.
Yeah. So, they got all kinds of problems, and that Philly media is going to be after him for his head. They already are. So, they like their football. They want to win games. And when you don't, they're after you.
And they got the players, but they do have Devontae Smith out. So definitely that's an issue right there. But Baker Mayfield did said after the game, look, my comments were misinterpreted during the week. So he was apologizing to Tom indirectly.
Yeah.
So I hope those two are in good,
I think Tom Brady called the game, though, didn't he? I think he actually called this game.
Yes, he was there with Fox. Yeah, he was calling the game.
That was kind of awkward, I wonder if he had a run-in at Baker.
And he did bring up that the Chicago Bears were actually interested in getting him. He was about to go to Chicago and play for them.
I did hear that. Yeah, that would have
been a different story. Chicago would have won a Super Bowl by now.
Yeah, definitely.
I think. All right, let's go to Carolina. Joe Burrow had to get a win, and he did. Threw for 232 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chase Brown ran for 80 yards and 2 scores, and the Cincinnati Bengals held on to beat the Panthers 34-24 for the first win of their season, Dan.
Yeah, no, I think that had to feel good. For Joe Burrow, it's been a rough start for them. They started slow last year, so this is kind of the
but they weren't 0-3
last
year either.
I think they might have been 0-2, but I'd have to
at worst.
But yeah. So, but hopefully this gets them over the hump. Panthers kept it close. You got to believe they wouldn't have been this close if Young was still the quarterback. I think their Panthers are going to be a little more competitive in games, get some more wins than they previously would have.
Jamar Chase had 3 catches for 85 yards, including a 63-yard catch and run touchdown, as the Bengals avoided a potentially disastrous 4th straight loss to open up the season. Let's go to Houston. C.J. Stroud threw for 345 yards and 2 touchdowns, then capped by a 1-yard pass to Dare Ogunbowale with 18 seconds left. No way. To give the Houston Texans to a 24-20 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are now 0-4.
No, C.J. Stroud is just continues to play well. I don't even know if he has a bad game. It seems like every game he's just so consistent, which is mind-boggling for how young he is. Has a lot of weapons around him for sure. But the bigger story coming out of this is, where is Trevor Lawrence? Like I said, he got $271 million, and he just isn't looking the part right now.
Is he just collecting paychecks?
You got to believe that people are competitive and they want to show that they belong and they deserve that kind of money. So I don't know. Sometimes you just, it becomes a head game, in sports, and you just overthink things. And he just needs to go back to just slinging it and having fun and not thinking so much.
Exactly. We'll see what happens with this Texans. The Texans are not having a good start of the season either. They're winning ugly at most.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like they were a little better last year. Right now. I mean,
is it a Stephon Diggs situation in the locker room like he did with the Bills?
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like he had good vibes, the last couple of weeks, but who knows what's going on there? But we'll find out.
We'll see what happens. This is going to be a true barometer test for the Commanders as they place the Arizona Cardinals, who are also hot, but they lose as well. Jaden Daniels threw for 233 yards, a rookie, and a touchdown, and ran for a score in his desert return. And the Commanders extended their winning streak to 3, Dan, with a 42-14 victory over the Arizona Cardinals Sunday. Your thoughts?
Well, hopefully it stops at 3 because the Browns got them this week. So hopefully Myles Garrett can get in there and get Daniels some hits. But no, he's playing really good right now. For a rookie, he is just looking cool, calm, and collected in the pocket, making the right throws, making the right reads, which is kind of unheard of for a rookie to be doing what he's doing. I thought this game would be a lot closer. The Commanders defense is pretty tough to hold them to 14 points for sure.
When you were describing him, it sounded like C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
His rookie season. Yeah.
Yep.
Which he was the first quarterback that's ever completed a higher completion rate, 82.1% through his first 4 games of the season. Unbelievable. This kid has magic. Commanders needed this lifting. New ownership, new quarterback. I think they're having a good start this season.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. And they got to be happy in Washington, for sure.
They got to be, because they've been losing for a while. Like Cleveland. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm a little envious right now.
Stories.
I'm like, why not me? Why not? Come on.
You guys help the team first? No, I'm kidding. All right. Patriots could be one of the worst teams in the NFL because Brock Purdy threw a touchdown pass. Fred Warner returned an interception for a score, and the San Francisco 49ers snapped a 2-game skid by beating the New England Patriots 30-13 yesterday. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, Patriots, I think they need to think long and hard, if they want to maybe give Drake May a shot moving forward. Just to try to get a spark. Brisket, I call him Brisket, but Brissett.
Sounds good.
He manages the game well, but at this point, maybe see what Drake May has. 49ers, Brock Purdy look good. I guess the big story is Brandon Ayuk. Where is he at? He only was targeted 4 times with 48 yards and got all that money. So, moving forward, if he's not getting the rock, you're making all that money. They need to find a way, especially with McCaffrey being out. He's not going to get back to November, I saw. They need to get some weapons to the ball.
But they might be resting McCaffrey for the right time.
Possibly.
Which is what they do. Like, this Niners team has done this before in the past. They rest their players throughout the season, and they shine at the right moment. So, watch out that Shanahan guy. Smarter than you think. There you have it. Jared Mayo said today in his press conference that he will keep Brissett as starting quarterback. So,
he said that? Okay.
That. Yeah, he said it this morning. So, Drake May, not sure what's going on with the kid. He's learned the system. Maybe that's what they're doing, the Brady style. All right, let's go to Las Vegas Raiders, who used a strong defense as well as a balanced running game to hold off a late rally to beat your Cleveland Browns 20-16.
Yeah, I'm thankful I was on a flight for the second half because I probably wouldn't be able to take the ending of this game. I watched some of it in the first half, but Watson actually played pretty decent. But the problem is the offensive line. They cannot give him any time to look down the field. If I'm the Browns in the draft this year, I'm drafting an offensive line every draft pick. Seriously, every draft pick, because they need to. You can have Tom Brady back there, but if you can't stop the people from coming to rush and sack, you're not going to win many football games. A lot of drop passes in this game as well. Browns defense was a little sluggish, what they're known for. So I really don't know how the Browns are going to win more than 5 games looking at their schedule. If you would have thought that before the year, but it's just their schedule gets harder and harder as you go along. And
Yeah, those divisional games, you guys have it tough.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope they prove me wrong, but they're going to have to do something real quick.
Do you picture a Amari Cooper trade out?
You sent me that. It could possibly, because he can leave, so maybe they figure he might leave, and maybe they should try to trade him to get some money for him. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Let's go to this ugly, their ugly game. Patrick Mahomes passed for 245 yards and a touchdown, while rediscovering his connection with Travis Kelce, and the Kansas City Chiefs rallied from an early 10-point deficit to beat the Los Angeles Chargers 17-10.
Yeah, so I think Travis Kelce got some encouragement from his teammates. I saw a picture on Instagram with all the wide receivers wore Travis Kelce shirts with like his picture on it and everything, because I think maybe he was a little discouraged with everyone saying he's washed up or lovesick or whatnot, but he had a breakout game. Better than he had been playing. So they're going to need a lot more of that moving forward. A little low-scoring game, but the Chiefs always find a way to win. They were down in this one, and you can't count Mahomes out. I mean, he's going to get it to the right guys at the right time, and they're always in it.
Kelce had a season-high 7 receptions for 89 yards and set the franchise career receptions record, surpassing fellow tight end Tony Gonzalez, another great tight end in NFL history. Sunday Night Football. This was a Ravens must win. A lot of pressure, but they gave it to Derrick Henry because the offense should go through Derrick Henry, who busted out the longest run in franchise history on the way to a 199-yard game. Lamar Jackson threw for 2 touchdowns, Dan, and rushed for another, and the Baltimore Ravens handed Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills their first loss of the season, 35-10 on Sunday night.
Yeah, no, Derrick Henry had a breakout game. I mean, if he can play like that and they feed him the ball, I mean, they're going to be tough to beat. I mean, he had a little slow start, but, this game he had his breakout game for sure. So, if they, like I said, play like that, they're going to be forced to be reckoned with moving forward.
Do you think the offense should be running through Henry?
I tell you what, I mean, if he's going to run like that, I mean,
why not?
Why not? I mean, definitely, that's going to open the playoff or the play action pass. I mean, Hardballs are always known for running. I mean, so
true. He's working out with J.K. Dobbins in L.A.
Exactly. Yep.
So, anyways, good job for the Ravens. They're now 2-2. They're back in. They're back in shape. I think. I don't know if that's the right phrase, but they had a bad start. They were 0-2 actually, and then they beat the Cowboys a week ago, and then they beat the Bills. So this is a good statement game for the Ravens.
Oh, absolutely.
Bills are definitely better than the Cowboys. So I feel
the Cowboys are just always they're like Jekyll and Hyde. I mean,
they got no running game.
No, exactly.
Zeke is not working out. Dalvin Cook, I'm not sure if he's touched the ball.
No.
Adel is not as what people thought. He's no Tony Pollard. The
only consistency they got is their field goal kicker. I mean, he can put a 67-yarder through there. So that's
quite something for the Cowboys. We'll see where Mike McCarthy, who's not in the hot seat, could be, but we'll see what happens. But there's 2 more games tonight. Doubleheader for Monday Night Football. Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins. They had a good game last year, which we should have won it. We could have got home field advantage, but it was Will Levis who shined. Who you got tonight between Tennessee and Miami?
I like the Dolphins. Yeah, I think
Snoop Tyler Huntley is starting tonight. F1.
Yeah. I think I liked him when he was in Cleveland. I think he can play. So I think they'll win this. I'm sure you got the Dolphins too.
I got the Dolphins, yeah. But what did Cleveland cut Huntley for? What was the reason?
I think they chose DTR over him. I mean, their quarterback room. I mean, they had too many, so it was just one of those things.
Yeah, and he was good with the Ravens, I thought, a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, he was.
We'll see. And then tonight, the Seahawks, who are 3-0, go against Detroit Lions. This will be a true test for the barometer for Seattle. People are questioning how in the world Seattle 3-0. Who do you have for tonight?
I like the Lions at home. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Lions win by a touchdown.
Yeah, and I could choose Seattle. I think it's not a bad pick, but if they do win tonight, Dan, I think they might be the real deal, like Minnesota.
Yeah, no, if they win, yeah, for sure, it'll be like, yeah, I guess they are the real deal. It ain't a fluke.
Yeah. Doubleheader tonight. The first game starts at 7:30. And the Seattle game at Detroit at 8:30. So you got two good football games. Dan, which one will you be having on most of the time?
I'll probably have on the Lions game on for sure.
I'll have the Miami game on. I have to do it by respect. Anyways,
I'm sure.
I'm sure. And guess what? Tennessee, if they lose tonight, they will be with the Jaguars being 0-4. So Jaguars won't be alone.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think that'll happen.
It might happen. All right. Yeah. Then that was NFL Week 4 recap. Great weekend of football. What is the best way to reach you online to talk to you about trade possibilities for the Browns?
Yeah, on X, Danimal2478, or Facebook under Dan Madden.
Dan Madden, there you go. And you can reach us at the Sportscast1 on X and Instagram, and the sportscast.net will be live tweeting tonight. A lot going on. Some storylines. The first game not so good. The second game pretty good with Detroit. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, Dan, always a pleasure. Glad you're back.
Yep. Good to be back.
You got your tan on. You're ready for the season.
That's right.
All right. And this was your update.